Did you know that influencers have people that influence them to influence you? Yeah, it happens. And in my case, it's my wife. She pretty much influences me all the time, tells me what to do, I do it. I just can't control myself. I have to listen to her. I like this color of a thermos. I really want this. No, this was my wife's idea. And this is what I drink in the car. Not feeling very masculine. I pretty much don't dress myself either. I just look at her and then she says yes or no. And guess who influenced this guy to leave Android after 10 years and go to iPhone? Yes, you guessed it, my wife. She was the one that influenced the influencer. You need to know this because I can't control her. She controls me and then I control you. But this is a pretty freaking awesome phone. I'm Jared Hoyman, and welcome back to the channel where we totally geek and nerd out on cameras, video, and pretty much all tech, including the iPhone 15 Pro that I picked up a week ago. After 10 years of being away from iPhone, it was an iPhone 4. Do you guys remember that? Were you on an iPhone 4? Are you still on an Android? Have you ever been to an iPhone? You might switch after this video. But before we continue, my wife asked me to ask you, because she influences me, to influence you, to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And she told me to say that at the end of the video. If you liked it, just hit the like button. Now, if you've been following this channel for any length of time, you may know that I buy a lot of stuff, and most of it is warranted for my business, and some of it is for this channel and some reviews. But what you may not know is I am tight. I am frugal, I am thrifty, I am super duper tight. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love technology and I love playing with new cameras, but again, that might be superseded by my tightness. Now comes in my wife, who's actually just as equally tight as me and thrifty, and that's kind of why eHarmony matched us up perfectly. By the way, we actually did meet on eHarmony. But my wife does know that in order to make money, you got to spend money, and there are good investments. There's a good return on investment out there, and she has a good eye for it. So 10 years ago, I left the iPhone 4, went to the Note 4, and I've been on Android ever since. My wife has been begging to go back to iPhone for a long time. She jumped ship a few months ago, but I gotta go back even further than this. For years, my wife has been begging me to go to a Mac computer, and I said, no, baby, I love building computers. True nerds build computers. They love it. They love to update everything on a regular basis. And if your computer fries, well, that just means you did a good job. But she said, Jared, you've got to buy a Mac or I'm gonna leave you. I'm just kidding. She didn't say that. That would have been very superficial and horrible of her. And finally, the M1, the M2 chips came out. And I thought, well, this would be the time to jump from PC to Mac, and I'll see how it goes. So for the last 6 months, I've been absolutely loving my Mac. It runs amazing and awesome. So I thought, well, if she was right about that, maybe she's right about an iPhone 15 Pro. By the way, that wasn't in existence a while back. This just came out, obviously, and I've been eyeing it, so I decided, you know what? You left me for iPhone. I'm gonna come over so we can communicate and be on the same page again. I will come in and join my wife on the island of iPhone and see how that goes. And just like the Mac, man, that first 24 to 48 hours is frustrating, and the interface, the iOS, it's just, yeah, it's not as easy as you would think. There is definitely a learning curve for anybody coming from Android to iPhone, and I was no exception. And doing a clean install. I mean, I didn't transfer any apps from Android. I manually downloaded all the ones that I wanted, no bloatware, and I am impressed. I understand that this is only 7 days old, but the battery on this is incredible. And the MagSafe on the back, I rarely ever use the USB-C. I just plug it in right there and it just stays there, hovering, beautiful, looking at me, almost at 100% all the time. In my car, I have it on the MagSafe on my dash, and it's where has this been my entire life? Now, I didn't want the Max because I don't want anything that big in my pocket. My wife said I can't do innuendos. Crap. But you know what I mean. I do not like a phone jabbing me in the crotch when I'm bending over to go tie my shoelaces. Everything's Velcro down there. I don't tie my shoelaces. This thing in this case is pretty darn amazing. Now, I've had it for a week and I love that I could just have it on a stand. Now I had the Note 4 and the Note 4 was great on how it operated, but now I don't have to look at that dumb crease in the middle and it just looks good. Now, what I was not expecting was actually the efficiency on how these apps operate. Now in Android world, things actually do crash, kind of like PC world. So apps do crash, and I'm sure they do on iOS, but it doesn't happen often, if any, in the last 7 days for me. One of the dumbest things that actually gives me joy right now is the fact that I can text on my Mac and not have to pick up this phone. So if I'm at my desk, I can just start typing, and it's all so intuitive. It just operates well. And when it comes to business, you want something that's fluid, that just is seamless. Now, besides having to figure out, where to scroll, how to scroll up, all these little simple things that you got used to on Android world, it really has become easy for me. Yes, I feel special, but easy for me. By the way, anytime I do new tech, I actually go all in with it, and I do not touch the old tech at all that conflicts. If I'm going back and forth, I'm not gonna actually learn the new product. That's exactly how I operated with DaVinci Resolve when I ditched Premiere Pro. I said, no Premiere Pro, I'm gonna leave you over here, and then I was all in with DaVinci Resolve, and after about a month and a half, I felt pretty darn good with it. Now Premiere Pro is right out there just being ridden by everybody in the neighborhood. After I got done doing all the customizations and getting this how I really want it to look, I then started to look at how I wanted to program this action button. This used to be the mutant button. I don't think there's a mutant button, but the mute button. The mute button was that switch or whatever, and I remember that from, the iPhone 4. Some of you probably weren't even born then. Oh my gosh. So you can program this to do anything you want, record voice, do video, do photos, anything. I mean, you can open up any kind of app by just holding it down for about a second. But ultimately, I'm going to tell you this. As a photographer, it was a no-brainer. The fact that I could just hold that down for a second and all of a sudden I am now in video and photo mode. It is easy. It is easier than Android. Holy cow, I can't believe I'm saying that. My wife was right. With Samsung, you actually have to double click, and sometimes you'd really mess it up with the power button. But with the iPhone 15 Pro, you just hold it down for a second and now you're in that mode. It's awesome. So I honestly thought that the video features of a phone was gonna end there, but it got better. So Android has the Play Store and you've got the App Store here. So when I started going through this and looking at all the apps that are available for iOS, there were 3 that stood out, and all 3 of them have actually floored me. You're wondering what floored means. Let me show you. So the bottom 3 right there is the Blackmagic, and then there's 2 road apps right there. So a lot of you may already know about Blackmagic, DaVinci Resolve, Blackmagic cameras, all of that stuff. Well, now Blackmagic did offer and put in freeware of a Blackmagic camera app, and this thing is awesome. Everybody should actually download this right now. I wish I made money off of this, but I don't. Just download it if you have iOS because it's gonna floor you. Now, back in the day, 10 years ago, I had Filmic Pro, and I found out that Filmic Pro now even sucks more than ever. You actually have to pay on an annual basis to keep those pro features. And now this Blackmagic app actually blows that away. Those people at Filmic Pro are gonna be so mad. But you've got waveforms, you've got audio meters, you can manually change things. It also has shutter speed, so you can do the 180-degree shutter speed. You obviously wanna put some filters on there. By the way, I'm gonna be doing a video on filters with this in the next few weeks, so that'll be awesome. The fact that you can shoot 10-bit log out of this phone is amazing, and then grade it. The options are awesome. So the other two apps that I have on the bottom here that I highly recommend are actually by Rode. Yes, Rode, the microphone place. Now I've got the Wireless Pro, and this has been actually awesome with the 32-bit float, but also recording. Now the cool feature with the Wireless Pro is that you've got USB-C right here. And with the new iPhone 15 Pro, it's really nice because you just click it in, and here's the receiver, and it will actually read it right away. It will know, and you can manipulate the levels on here inside and change everything that you need to. I can also unpair it if I want to. The other app by Rode has totally changed the way I'm looking at video and how I will do shorts in the future on YouTube. It's called the Rode Capture. Now, Rode Capture is actually a camera app on here. You're probably already thinking, I've got the iOS camera, I've got the Blackmagic camera. How many more camera apps do I need? This one is completely different and awesome. Now, the cool thing about this app is it actually connects and understands if you have the Rode Wireless Pro on here. This actually has picture-in-picture, and the things you can do with it are just amazing. So it's using both cameras, the front and the back cameras. It is full HD. It is not 4K when you do this, but you can switch it over to just one of the cameras, and then it is 4K. But in this case, you've got full HD. This is exactly the format that YouTube loves for its shorts. So how cool would it be to walk around and get awesome audio from your Rode Wireless Pro and get this video where you're walking and you can look at yourself and get footage from behind. So you're getting it from both ends. Now, I plan on doing a dedicated video with that app and showing how it operates, so stay tuned for that one. I've been loving the Rode Wireless Pro for the last few weeks, and I am going to leave some links below for that if you're interested in it. Also, there are some links on the case that I am using, which has actually been an amazing case as well. And don't forget, I am not the influencer. I am influenced by the ultimate influencer, which is my wife, which then trickles down through me and I influence you. Again, make my wife happy, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to watch one of these videos over here. I'm sure you're gonna like it. My wife said you will. Google says you will. And so I have to tell you, you will like it.